What's going on YouTube? This is Boxingwave. Let's do a quick review, a quick recap of the Regis Prograis Jack Catterall fight. Now I wanted to go live, but I got home right in the second round. All right, so I didn't get on time to go live. All right, but I did watch the fight and I did score the fight. I actually scored it 6 rounds to 6, with the 2 knockdowns for Catterall to give him an extra point to win the fight. I thought the rounds was pretty hard to score, especially in the earlier rounds. You know, it wasn't much action. It was a very boring fight. I was live tweeting throughout the fight, and it just wasn't a good fight. It was actually one of the most boring fights I've seen this year, leading up to the ninth round. Okay, those early rounds again very hard to score. I thought Jack was definitely more accurate, but he was hardly throwing at all. You know, he would like I felt like in some of the earlier rounds, he was stealing rounds because he would land a good left hand and it would kind of like be the most eye catching punching around. Whereas Regis landed a little bit more, especially to the body, but was missing the majority of his punches. All right. So, based on how you want to look at the fight, Regis was definitely the aggressor, but he was missing a lot. Whereas Catterall was just playing defense for too long and a majority of each round. So the fifth round comes, and I thought Regis really stepped it up in this round. I thought he started to be like very aggressive, landed a couple good left hands, and then he knocks down Jack Catterall. Not the cleanest knockdown, where he kind of hit him like right here around his neck and shoulder area. He hit him hard, but Jack went down. I think his right glove touched the mat. It was like not a real hard knockdown or anything. It was like a flash knockdown, but his gloves just touched the mat. You know, some people's gonna call it a slip. You know, a punch did land. It wasn't a clean punch, but a punch did land, and he went down. Um, so he had a knockdown there. Going a few more rounds, I think after that knockdown, I think it gave Regis Prograis some confidence. I think the momentum started to really go into his favor at this point. And I gave him the next couple rounds after that. But then the ninth round comes and Prograis gets hurt bad. I think he just walks straight into a shot. Can't remember what kind of punch that landed in the ninth round, but he gets hurt bad. He gets dropped hard. And listen, Jack did land a few shots in the fight where, like earlier in the fight, that you could tell Buzz Regis, but didn't knock him down. But he lands a big night. Like I thought that Regis was gonna get stopped this time, you know, because Regis got dropped in the last 2 fights back to back. So Rilla dropped him, didn't get counted as a knockdown, but it was definitely a knockdown early in that fight. And you know, Devin Haney landed a good shot clean against Regis. But in this night, like this knockdown, I mean, he was hurt bad. He gets back up too fast, and then you know he wanted to keep fighting, but he didn't have his legs and Catterall almost finished him off, dropped him again. And Regis, you know, he got back up, but I think he got saved by the bell. If it was an earlier knockdown earlier in the round, it might have been a chance with Jack Hoke would have stopped him because Regis wasn't really trying to hold. His legs were all over the place. So yeah, the momentum shifted there. I think Regis came back the next round not so bad. It looked like he was kind of recovered, you know, especially by the 11th round. I think the 11th, 12th, he was kind of recovered. But at this point, the momentum was different, you know, and I think Jack did enough to edge the fight. All right. Again, I scored it very close, 6-6. You know, with the 2 knockdowns against Regis's one. So I had Jack Hawking winning by a point. But a lot of those rounds were swing rounds for me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna argue or battle with anyone about their scorecards when it comes to this one. I do think that Tony Bellew, the unofficial card, and the judges had a little too wide because they made it seem like Regis didn't win any rounds here outside of the knockdown round or whatever. Well, one of them scored it 108 to 117. So I don't really know how these judges scored it this wide. You know, I think Regis did a little bit more than what they had it here. But you know, not for nothing. I actually, even with the loss and everything, uh, I think Regis performed better here than what he did in the last 2 fights. And let me explain. The last 2 fights, I did a breakdown for this fight yesterday, and One thing I failed to mention was the head movement of Regis Prograis. Like I brought it up, but I didn't bring it up at how it can be, you know, a flaw defensively, right? Because he moves like out of rhythm sometimes. He throws his jab out of rhythm at times, and he moves his upper body and his head side to side out of rhythm. And I noticed that both knockdowns, Zarela and Devin Haney, they led with a quick backhand shot that landed. You know, both of them did real quick. And, you know, if you got a good jab, you can time where he's going to move his head. You know what I mean? Um, in this fight, he didn't do it like that. He didn't move in the same way. You know, I think I saw him, like I said in the breakdown, I saw him at the media workout, uh, moving a lot lighter on his feet. You know what I mean? I knew he was going to be quicker on his feet. It's just like the way he closes distance, though, is that he kind of charges at you, you know, and I think it kind of leaves him open because most of the time his hands are down. And when he's charging in, he almost. All right, neighbors. Uh, he charged in and threw a wild like haymaker and he fell. And he does that sometimes. I've been seeing Regis do that. Like I remember him running after Kyra after he had him hurt to with a body shot. You know, like he's like that guy where he just runs at you at times. So Regis Prograis, to me, I think the way he fought here was better than Devin Haney. You know, I think when Devin was just outboxing him, he really didn't change it up in any way. You know, he had nothing for Devin. Zaria too is like he tried to be more aggressive, but he just had a hard time getting to him. So I think it was good that he was moving faster on his feet and he was closing distance, but the way he does it is so reckless at times that he kind of walks into stuff, you know. When it comes to Jack Catterall, you know, like he's very effective with his style. Um, I liked him in a Josh Taylor 2 fight. Like I liked him in a rematch. I didn't like him in this fight. You know, I thought he was just too cautious. You know, and I think you know, defensively he's normally good. But Regis caught him a lot with a lot of overhand lefts, you know, and not thinking anything. I mean, he is a former two-time champion, you know, so he is a elite fighter. But um, offensively, man, I mean, damn, I was just like he was just like waiting and waiting and waiting. He'll go 2.5 minutes of each round, not really doing anything. You know what I mean? At times, and especially some of those earlier rounds. So I didn't really like him in this fight. You know what I mean? It's his style is effective. You know, because he has good legs and he's a really accurate puncher with that left hand. And he has a good jab. You know, but I mean, sometimes he just goes too long, man. It was just really boring. You know, outside of that ninth round and the following rounds after that. You know what I mean? So, um, anyway, Jack Catterall, you know, he wins. Um, Eddie Hearn is saying that he's going to try to make it work with him and the winner of Liam Powell and oh, I got this net right here. Liam Powell and Richardson Hitchens. Okay, that's going to be next. He wants him to fight the winner of those two. Liam Powell is champion now, so um, you know that's one breakdown that I've gotten headaches even thinking about because I can see how that goes both ways. But when it comes to that's what Eddie wants for Jack. This is a WBO title that he's holding. So Teofimo Lopez is the actual champ, but I believe Arnold Barbosa is the number one ring fighter, right? And Arnold Barbosa is going to be fighting what's this guy name? The former champion Mexican fighter. I can't think of his name right now. Former unified champion at 140. All right, I can't think of his name. You guys are gonna say it in the comments. I apologize. Can't think of his name right now. It'll come to me. But anyway, so he wants to make that fight now. As far as Regis Prograis, he said something very interesting to me because I had just been watching bare knuckle fighting. Now Regis Prograis is thinking about retirement, right? Is he? I don't think he officially said that he's retired, but he brought it up in his post fight speech, you know, and Jose Ramirez is who I was thinking of. I was still thinking him. I couldn't even continue going without bringing out Jose Ramirez, former champion. Him and Arnold Barbosa is gonna be facing off against each other. All right, but he brought up bare knuckle. Maybe he'll do bare knuckle. And I just was like on a late night one night. I was watching some fights on there. Our Austin Trout has been very successful. And we know as a boxer, he was pretty past it, but he's had a lot of success over there on bare knuckle. And I expect more boxers to go that way. I don't know what these guys' purses are or anything like that. And for nothing, not for nothing, I really don't care. I don't really want to know. But it's, I don't think it's bad. You know, I, I think when I watch Austin Trout's fights, I like him because he's such a good boxer. But when I watch some of the other fights, it's like just brawling. It's not much skill, it's not much boxing there. But I think if these guys start getting some of these retired guys over to that side, like a Regis Prograis, these boxers are gonna do pretty well. You know what I mean? I don't know how long those hands are gonna last fighting bare knuckle like that, but they're good. They're gonna succeed over there in that area. And I believe Paulie Malignaggi did it in a fight too, but Austin Charles doing really really good over there. Like he's doing good. I've been watching his fights and a couple other guys over there. So I mean, if the money's right and he wants to do it, do it. You know, but you're accumulating more damage while you're over there. Maybe not. I don't know. I Boxing is very dangerous because of the amount of rounds you're facing. Your opponent. But listen, man, I want to wish Regis Prograis the best. If he is going to retire, big fan. He's given us a lot of good fights, a lot of good moments. Loved him in the World Boxing Super Series. I know he didn't always have it all together with the promoters and stuff like that, and networks. I know he moved around a lot, but I think he made some good money recently being with Matchroom. And even though some may view him as a gatekeeper at this point or something like that. Uh, I think there's still fights out there from and I did see a difference in this fight here compared to the last two. And why not fight if he stays, why not fight Sabrio Matias? I think there's some guys here that's in this top 20 of the 140 division that I still think he can still beat. As far as being champion, maybe that's gone. But he still would beat some of these guys if he did stay. But I know he probably wouldn't want to be that guy that the newer guys, like guys like Dalton Smith or Adam Azim or like some of these newer guys that's on the way or come or moving up from 135. I know he wouldn't want to be that guy that everybody's gonna just run through. And I don't think he would be. I think he's still gonna beat some of these guys, but I just wish him the best. And as far as Jack Colque, not the most entertaining, but I mean, he gets it done. I say the same thing about this guy Sandor Martin. Same thing with him. Not the most action packed, but I think the more aggressive you are, the better they look. I've said this about Shakur Stevenson. He needs to get in there with a really good pressure fighter like a William Zepeda, because Sandor Martin, maybe not action packed, but he looked good against Teofimo Lopez. The fight was very entertaining. I mean, he schooled Mikey Garcia, but Tio, guys that's gonna come at like guys like Jack, they're gonna look better, because they can really work behind the counter and stuff like that. All right. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, share the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good night. Peace.